How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry, Chapter 8. The preparations for, well, everything continues to go on here as the gang has revealed, or has gotten revealed, everything that's going on with Hinamizawa syndrome, the fact that Rika is in grave danger, along with the village itself, with Takano possibly being the enemy. Well, she is the enemy, but they have no confirmation yet. Only Hanyu's word. So they are basically preparing all their fronts here instead of kind of like how they had to do whatever they could at the end of Chapter 7. They have the time, they're going to try and use it wisely, use whatever they can to their advantage.
その緊急マニュアルってのは、リカちゃんが死ぬと村人が48時間以内に全員異常行動を起こすって言うから、そうなる前に村を鎮圧するために発動されるんだよね。
はい、そうなのです。はあ？どうしてリカが死んだこともないのに48時間でそんなことになるとわかるのでしょうか？確かにそうだね。うん、おかしいよそれ。なんで48時間で村人みんながおかしくなるなんて決めつけられるんだろう。僕にはよくわからないのですが。
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen that, especially at the end of Chapter 7, but then again, we also did not see that at the ends of like Chapter 2 and 5. Everything seemed normal.
高野が言うには、他の国の例でよく似たケースがあり、それが48時間だかなんだかの根拠らしいのですが、僕にはちんぷんかんぷんなのです。入江も実はちんぷんかんぷんだと言ってましたです。まさか、なるほど。私、わかりましたわよ。
ああ、俺もわかったぜ。そうかそうか、そうだよな。これは確かに盲点だったぜ。
二人とも何がわかったのですか？僕にはわからないのです。
Me neither.
わかんない。レナにもわかんないよ。
あれあれ、レナとリカちゃんはわかんないの？最後までわかんない方は恥ずかしい罰ゲームってことにしようかね。羽生はどう？あんたならとっくにピンときてそうだね。
はい、わかってますですよ。だからこそリカは高野にとっても重要人物だったのです。はあ、これはリカとレナへのヒントなのですよ。私からもヒントですわよ。敵の狙いは派閥争いのためにhinamizawaで大騒ぎを起こすこと。そしてそのための手段として緊急マニュアルを使おうとしているわけですわ。ということはこの緊急マニュアルこそ敵の陰謀のアキレス腱になるということですわ。わかんないのです。リカ、僕に今まで意地悪してごめんなさいと謝ったら答えを教えてあげますですよ。まっぴらごめんよ。そのあうあう気が散るから黙らせて。
なんだ鋭いレナまで気づかないのかよ。いいか、俺たちの攻撃が富武さん一人に委ねられていて、それがアキレス腱であるように敵の攻撃も緊急マニュアル一つに委ねられているんだよ。ってことは緊急マニュアルの根底を打ち砕いてやればいい。わかるか？緊急マニュアルの意味を失わせてやればいいんだよ。
緊急マニュアルの意味は何ですか？それはhinamizawa症候群の大騒ぎを災害のふりをして隠すためなのです。だから村人たちがおかしくなる48時間以内に村に緊急措置を行使してしまおうとする。
So they should just spread word about the
そして
disease.
それが敵の狙いなのです。
Make everyone aware of it, because then there'd be no reason to completely destroy the village. Well, I guess there might still be a reason, but
ということは
Japan would not like it.
つまり 48時間以内に緊急マニュアルを使わせなければいい？えっと僕を殺さなければその48時間は始まらないんだから、その48時間を逃げ切ればいい？
何よ、二人とももう答えを口にしてるじゃないいい？じゃあ答えを教えてあげよう。みんないい？せーの。
Fake Rika's death?
リカちゃんが48時間前に死んでればいい。
We all said it in unison. Boy, we're good at this. We never mess it up.
わかったよ、わかった。僕もわかりましたです。
Rena and Rika-chan clapped their hands together. They finally figured it out. Why did it take us so long for us to come up with this?
やっとみんな思いつきましたです。こんな案、一案目でさっくり出してほしいものなのですよ。さっきから後ろ向きな案ばっかりだったので、ひょっとして思いつかないのかと焦ってましたのです。
言ってくれるじゃない。羽生、あんたますます気に入ったよ。この功績を認め、あんたには後で我が部金星特別十字章を授与しよう。まあそれは後に置いといて、奴らのゴールの最大の拠り所である緊急マニュアル、これにはでっかいウィークポイントが隠されてる。それはHinamizawa症候群は女王感染者の死後48時間で村人が全員異常行動を起こすから、そうなる前に初段を下せというそもそもの根拠の部分。つまりリカちゃんが48時間前にすでに死んでいるのに、村に何も起こらず平和だったら、このマニュアルの根本が崩れるってことなんだよ。
That's it, to say the least. Nobody really wants to do such a terrifying thing. But if they don't execute the manual, the villagers might go mad and spread to the surrounding communities. They're hesitant to execute it, but they want to keep the damage to a minimum. But what if they find Rika-chan's body 48 hours after her death? The major premise that the villagers will lose their minds within 48 hours of the Queen Carrier's death will collapse.
幸い、リカはここに隠れているのですから、リカが死んでしまったという嘘をつくのは可能なのです。
リカちゃんが世間に目撃されたのは昨日の学校が最後だから、それから48時間だから、あさっての早朝くらいに死体が見つかったということになるととても好都合だね。
そうか、警察の大石さんの助けがあればリカちゃん死亡の偽装は可能なんだね。
But that's only if he's truly on board.
その通りですわ。大石さんにうまくやってもらってリカの死体が見つかり、それが死後48時間経過してるって嘘を発表してもらうんですの。
まあ公式発表にするといろいろ余波がありそうだから、入江機関にだけ嘘を流せば十分だろう。しかも監督がこっちの味方なんだから、連中をコロッと騙すのは可能なはずだ。
これは考えたわね。緊急マニュアルの信憑性が失われれば、こんなひどい作戦が承認されることなんてありえない。つまり連中にとって最大の弱点は緊急マニュアルであり、そしてリカちゃん自身だったというわけなんだよ。
大石は協力するとまだ言ってくれたわけではありませんが、僕はきっと力を貸してくれると信じていますです。これは愉快なトラップになりましてよ。高野さんが慌てふためく姿が目に浮かぶようですわ。
高野は私と聡子が風邪で寝込んで家にいると信じ込んでる。でも姿を見たわけじゃなく、きっとそこにいるだろうという想像でしかない。それが実は他にいて、そしてあさってに突然私の死体が見つかり、しかも48時間前には死んでいたなんてことになったらなんだか
すっごい痛快なことになりそうだね。
と となれば黒幕たちはこの緊急マニュアル作戦が失敗したと判断して撤退するだろうね。ここで私たちの攻守が逆転する。そこまで至ればきっと敵の動揺の隙をついて富武さんが何かをつかむ。
そして陰謀を鎮圧するために富武が番犬のワンワンを呼び寄せて敵をやっつけてくれるのです。これが僕たちのゴールなのです。
よっしゃー、見えてきたじゃねえか、俺たちの勝ち方が。しかも最高に俺たちにぴったりの騙し方だぜ。
Unfortunately, I really don't think it's gonna be that easy, guys.
気
Come
に入っ
on.
た気に入った、最高に気に入った。
There's no way it could be that simple. We all encouraged each other with a hip hip hooray. This is definitely getting really interesting. Still, what's key is that the claim of Rika-chan being dead for 48 hours is believable. For that, we'll need Oishi-san's help. Yeah, I'm sure that'll work out. We really need him on our side, to be honest. And right as we thought about asking him, he arrived at the Sonozaki residence. Oishi-san knows that Rika-chan is hiding here. He also knows that some members of the Mountain Dogs have infiltrated the police station. They've even wiretapped Rika-chan's home phone. So the safest way to contact her, he figured, is in person.
先ほど入江先生にお会いしましてね、赤坂さんはうまいことやってて無事ですと伝えてほしいと言われました。あの人は5年前とは比べ物にならないくらい成長してます。あの砦は彼なら守りを務められるでしょう。
Oishi-san loosened his tie while drinking his barley tea. I bet he never thought he'd end up drinking a glass of barley tea at the home of his old enemy, the Sonozaki family.
それで大石、この48時間作戦なのですが、どう思いますですか？
ねえ、なかなか面白い作戦だと思います。敵に対する強力な揺さぶりになるでしょう。おそらく敵は動揺し焦ってミスを犯すはずです。それは富武さんにとって掴むべき尻尾となるに違いありません。いや、実にうまい作戦ですよ。3人集まればなんとかって言いますが、若い皆さんがこれだけ集まるといいアイデアも出てくるもんです。
Oishi-san laughed in admiration and assured us that the operation would definitely make an impact. However, he hesitated a little too.
こいつは大勝負になります。勝っても負けても私はこの作戦の責任を取らされるでしょう。うまくごまかすつもりですが、下手をすりゃちょいと痛い目にも遭うでしょう。ちょいと覚悟が必要です。
In our 48-hour operation, Oishi-san ends up bearing most of the responsibility. And the police are a strict organization. There's no guarantee they won't investigate. Oishi-san is planning to retire this year. He needs his pension in order to pay off his mortgage. He's at a very delicate point in his life. While this is a big deal for Rika-chan, it's a lot to ask of Oishi too. He has to risk throwing away everything for our sakes.
くそ、私もこの48時間作戦。しかし、私ってやつは。
大石、難しければ無理にうなずかなくてもいいのですよ。僕たちは大石の犠牲を踏み台にして勝利を勝ち取りたいなんて思ってないのです。
Nobody knew what to say to him, but Hanyu broke the silence. She's full of energy, ow-owing during our club, but at times like this, she also has the power to heal the hearts of those who are hesitating and growing weak. It's like being enveloped in a mysterious embrace. If her appearance matched her level of maturity, Hanyu would probably look like a mother.
それに僕たちは最強の部活メンバーなのです。48時間作戦がダメならもっともっと効果的で面白い作戦をすぐに考えちゃいますのです。ね、ミオン。
ああ、そうだよ。おいさん、無理なら断ってくれて全然 OK。 むしろ私たちも大石さんの迷惑も考えず勝手に盛り上がっちゃって悪かったと思ってるもん。
そうですわね。困らせてごめんなさいですわ、大石さん。
Rena whispered to me while watching them talk.
羽生ちゃんって結構うまいね。年下の子にこんなこと言われちゃったら、一肌脱がずにはいられなくなっちゃうもん。
って羽生が慰めてるのってそういう意味があるのかよ。
みー、だって羽生は本当は僕よりずっとタヌキなのですよ。
As Ushi-san moaned and groaned, Hanyu looked over and grinned wickedly at us. I take it back. This girl, she really is sly. Hanyu is more dangerous than I thought. Next time we do a club activity, I'll really have to watch out.
ちょっと一晩だけ時間をください。署内で信頼できる人間に打ち明けて協力を求めてみます。
Kumagai.
大丈夫、絶対に信頼できる人間です。私も引き受けたなら失敗しましたじゃすみません。なのでやる前に賞賛を図らせてください。
Ushi-san never makes promises unless he's sure he can keep them. That's why he speaks cautiously, but considering his position, it was certainly a decision that required courage.
大丈夫ですよ、大石。もし退職金がなくなっちゃっても、きっとミオンが何とかしてくれるのです。ね。みー、部活メンバーに協力する以上、そうじゃないと大石がかわいそうなのです。みー。
まあね、おじさんの家はこう見えてもお金持ちだからね。
We've got two sly foxes. Our club's going to be the epitome of a free-for-all in the future. The meeting ends with that. What direction will they go in? We'll find out if we can go ahead with the 48-hour operation or not by tomorrow, depending on Ushi-san's answer. Excuse me, I meant to say answer, not whatever the fuck just came out of my mouth. We haven't heard from Tomitake-san yet, but I'm sure he's started his investigation on Takano-san. The coach and Akasaka-san have to wait patiently, each surrounded by the enemy. They're both in very dangerous positions, so I'll just have to pray for their safety. And then there's Takano-san. I'm still having a hard time believing she's involved in such a vast conspiracy. If someone told me the whole thing was a lie, I might even believe them. And that's why I want Tomitake-san to investigate. She's mysterious and a bit cold, but she can be fun to be around too. Also, I've always thought of her as one of the villagers. It hurts more than a little to suspect one of your own. I can understand what Tomitake-san is going through. This doesn't have to be an investigation to confirm her guilt. Instead, I want him to prove that she is not guilty. It's too painful for people to doubt one another.
もしもし。ああ、何度もお電話をさせてしまいすみませんでした、富武に。
At least we're getting an update with Tomitake.
それより何か分かりましたか?
A background investigation usually takes a few months. It can't be rushed within a day or two. But Tomitake sensed that something huge had started to make its move after what Rika and the others had told him. And it was definitely getting closer. But once it was close enough to see, it would be too late. That was why he was checking on their progress so frequently.
Takano さんについては現在調査を続けています。アルファベットの客員に迎えられるときに別の部署ですでに身辺調査を行っていたらしく、その資料の引き渡しを要求しています。アルファベット後については今総員体制で当たらせているところです。もうしばらくお時間をください。
分かってます。ですが事態は切迫しつつあるように感じていますので、くれぐれも緊急にお願いいたします。
はい、もちろんです。それから富武任意の依頼とは別に本日付で入江機関への緊急内定が命じられました。優先度最大。命令書は幕僚長命です。
幕僚長が私の調査依頼とは別に？
はい、あくまでも別件となっていますが、私の見たところこれは富武任意の調査に対するトップからの強力な後押しではないかと。
幕僚長が協力？
What does this mean? The only thing I can assume is that the top members of the JGSDF have realized the danger of the conspiracy surrounding the Irie Institute. Like Rika-chan said, If this conspiracy's intent is to execute the emergency manual, then the opposing camp will try to stop that from happening. My request for an investigation is the first step in putting a stop to their plans. So if the masterminds were influencing the chief of staff, he'd probably try to shut my investigation down. But he's supporting it instead, which probably means that the chief of staff isn't my enemy. In fact, he might belong to the opposing camp. No, it's hard to say if he belongs to them or not. He might just be under order from the ones pulling the strings for the opposing camp. If that's true, then the enemy has already noticed something, and it's possible that they'll start exerting pressure soon enough. So how much can I find out before that happens? I don't know much about the top brass. Still, for the chief of staff to get involved, putting aside if Takano-san is guilty or not, I'm certain that something extremely big is starting to happen around the Irie Institute.
入江機関についての調査も急ピッチに進めています。まだ分析は終わっていませんが、入江機関内の予算の動きに不審があるようです。単なる書類のミスなのか、何かの工作なのかは現在腕利きに表せています。
口座に不審とは何です？
はい、入江機関の運営資金用に分配口座があるのはご存知かと思います。そこの数字が微妙に合いません。プール金への流出、もしくは不明金の流入の可能性があるとのことです。また、領収書の日付にも不審な点があり、捏造の疑いが持たれています。
Funds are usually supplied annually. For example, if a budget of 1 million yen is approved, 1 million yen is supplied in April, and the facility manages those funds so they can keep things running for 1 year. So depending on how much they use the money, it's possible to have some left over at the end of the year. If they only use 900,000 yen, they will have 100,000 left. And then for the following year, they'll be told that as they only needed 900,000 yen, 900,000 should be enough. Furthermore, there should be 100,000 yen left over, so they should only need 800,000 the following year. Therefore, they only get 800,000 yen when April comes around, which is 200,000 yen less than the previous year. As some of you have already noticed, the more leftover money you have, the fewer funds you receive the next year. Therefore, it's smart to use up your entire budget. But some people try to get by until the end of the year, and if there is 100,000 yen left, they try to make it look as though they've used up the money, even when it's in fact in a safe somewhere. They report that they've used exactly 1 million yen, and they get another 1 million yen for the following year. Yet there is still 100,000 yen sitting in a safe. This 100,000 yen is called a pooled fund or a pooled fund or a slush fund. If they keep running with only 900,000 yen per year, then 100,000 will be added to the slush fund in the safe annually. And only a handful of people will know about that money. This is how public funds get embezzled or turned into private money. As we previously mentioned, the Alphabet Project is using this exact trick, and certain masterminds are pulling in huge amounts of public funding. To avoid this kind of situation, there is an audit of accounts performed every year, and oversight to ensure no one's fattening their pockets or creating slush funds. By the way, it's been said that the reason why civil engineering projects tend to start up at the end of the year is so that they won't have that 100,000 yen left, but that's not relevant right now. The point is that they have to work hard to get the funds they want. Well, that's an example of having some money left over, which is certainly not bad. However, it can also be possible that there isn't enough money. After all, they're only granted 1 year's worth of funds, so they can't delve into a savings account like we do in our lives. That excess money just doesn't exist. Therefore, an estimate report should never show more expenditure than revenue. If that happens, that means there is some extra money other than what was supplied. That's how slush funds are discovered. Tomitake was told that it was still under investigation, but the Irie Institute's suspicious financial records could be either case. The former would be fine. It's quite common after all. But if it was the latter, there could be something quite nasty lying beneath the surface. In other words, it was quite possible that funding was coming into the IDA Institute from someone other than the formal sponsors. To be more exact, there was a chance someone was interfering with the IDA Institute by supplying funds. Tomitake was having his men look into the possibility of Takano and the Mountain Dogs rebelling against Tokyo. While it was certainly possible for Takano to do so, because of her personal investment in their research project, it was hard to believe that the Mountain Dogs could betray their employers out of sympathy. For the dogs to take part in Takano's conspiracy, a huge amount of money would have to be involved. And the discrepancy that Tomitake's men had identified could be a sign of such.
もしもし、失礼。今、一件報告が来ました。富武には小泉先生をご存知ですね。旧小泉派のトップです。近年お亡くなりになって派閥は瓦解したそうですが、そのトップと高野三佐の個人的信仰についてはご存知でしたか？
ええ、一応は。
では、小泉先生と小高野先生に個人的な信仰があったことはご存知でしたか？
え？いや、なるほど。小泉先生が高野三佐を可愛がっていた理由がようやく、
これは興味深い内容です。実は小泉先生の死後、彼の隠し口座の清算が行われたらしいのですが、その際金庫番の弁護士を通さず、小泉先生がご自身で下ろされた額があることが判明したんだそうです。時期は入江機関の設立がアルファベットで承認される半年前です。
それは入江機関設立の根回しに小泉先生が使ったのでは？
いえ、その根回しの金は弁護士が管理を任されていました。ですからその支出ではないと思われます。腹心の金庫番を素通しして支払うというのはよほどの個人的支出です。
So could that involve the relationship between Koizumi sensei and Takano-san?
では高野三佐に対し小泉先生が個人的に資金を提供したということでしょうか？
はい、こちらでもそう分析しており、現在裏付けを進めています。小泉先生による機関設立の根回しとは別に、高野三佐に対し個人的に設立工作のための現金を提供したのではないかと考えています。
ということはつまり高野三佐は造反工作を行いうる現金を多額に持っている可能性があるということですか？
高野三佐は機関設立にあたり各方面への調整にあたりましたが、それは全て表ルートの接触で裏ルートからの接触ではありませんでした。ですので設立工作にあたりその提供を受けた資金を使用していないなら、それは丸々残っている可能性があります。
話が前後しますが、その提供を受けたと思われる額はいくらですか
？10億。
Jesus Christ.
そんなに？
I'm very close to Takano-san, but I had no idea she was so rich. Actually, she's rather tight with her money. She never acted as if she had 1 billion yen just sitting around. I mean, there was like way earlier on in the visual novel here where Takano was given like a suitcase full of cash. Maybe that's related. But then that money isn't just her money to her. It's a form of support from her dear grandfather's friend. So she'd have to save it for when she needed it most. If the new board of directors had even a little interest in her research, she would have used the money on them, but they simply laughed at her. So Takano-san gave up on bribing them. Instead, she decided to use it now because her research project was going to be terminated anyway. With 1 billion yen, it might be possible to bribe the Mountain Dogs. If she has sponsors, it'll be even easier. Her grandfather couldn't complete his life's work, but she's planning a magnificent conclusion for it. Shit. Those can't be her true intentions. Someone has to be deceiving her. Takano-san, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I didn't notice your sorrow, even though I've been right beside you. Oh, man. Isn't money so great? Money talks, though. Money do talk. You know, that's what makes the world go round in a way. It's kind of depressing, but it is what it is. 48-hour operation, that is our achievement. I wonder how many more achievements we have to go. I mean, we're approaching with Tanagashi. We're almost we're almost to that point where we hear Rena talk about whatever, or Rena's voice actor talk about whatever, and then we get the name of the game, and there's all that. In a way, a turning point, but in another way, I feel like this is all just one straightforward path to the end, whatever the end really includes. I guess I could check with the old shift tab. We are 9 out of 14 achievements done. Wow. So, I don't know if there's an achievement for tips, because there's not really tips here. But if we're on number 10, then there's 11, 12, 13, 14. We've got 5 more sections to go. But it's likely that they're probably a little longer as we get to the end. I think that's how Chapter 7 was as well. I can't remember. Anyways, I feel like I'm getting sick, so we're going to end the episode here. I just tried to get, the bare minimum 30 minutes or so in for an episode. But I do feel like I'm falling a little under the weather. So that's lovely. That's always good. Thank you all for watching this episode. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz, and I will see you all next time. Take it easy.